I lied. I don't want to do top 5 beers.
Okay.
That's something that deserves a little bit of thought
Research, yeah.
and research.
Oh, here we go. Estimated ship date is not going to be until March 7th.
No.
Yeah. It's fair.
It's a lifetime from now.
Cool. Anyways.
Top 5 greatest songs? That's tough. I think top 5 of anything is hard.
Yeah, man, it's so hard. Maybe today's just
A riff-raff?
Maybe not a list day. Top 5 favorite things about Tim, since he's got.
Top 5 least favorite things about Tim.
Ooh, we could do 2 lists: top 5 favorite things and least favorite things.
I like that. Just be trash on Tim Day. Can't
And build him up.
and build him up, and then send him crashing right back down.
Yeah. I hopefully found another Subaru too that I could possibly buy.
Oh, did that one not work out?
Yeah, they got sold. I was telling Tim about it when we were left last week, and because the guy I talked to, he's like, yeah, we have like 5 people interested in that. And I was like, okay, that's kind of classic salesman talk, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, and we're also getting it shipped off to get tuned. I was like, oh. I was like, that's fucking cool. and then like the next day, he's like, yeah, the guy bought it. I was like, damn it.
Bummer.
Yeah, I was sad.
Get your headphones on.
I'm in.
Not recording Tim's spot. Undo.
Can I do this now? Tim's gone? No, I can't. There's not enough room. Oh, kind of. I can kind of do that.
So it's funny now. You were giving me crap all last summer about going on vacations and buying tickets and being rich and stuff, and then now all of a sudden you get a new job and it's like,
Yeah, I have money now.
I'm gonna buy a car and I'm gonna buy a new computer and I'm a new man. Let me adjust your camera.
I bought a new Magic deck. Don't forget that. I bought a new
Oh,
one.
you did?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, I built one.
Oh.
So
A pretty good deck.
I'm hoping it's my most competitive deck. It needs a little tweaking, I think, but it's done good so far.
When are you gonna test it out in like competition?
Oh, I've gotten to play it. I mean, competition, I don't do those because it's not the format that we play. Commander isn't really a competition. I mean, there is a competitive side to it, and this is
everything to us is always competitive.
right. Yeah, but of course, when I play Commander, I want to win. When I do anything, I want to win. But something about the format of Commander is just like I just want to do the craziest thing on my turn as possible. And
You like to make a splash.
yeah, exactly. And then if I lose, at least I got to do like my cool thing. And if I win, even better. It's just icing on the cake.
Nice.
So
Yeah, so speaking of competitiveness, we were talking at work the other day about the whole NIL thing and just kind of just the pros and cons of it and kind of what it means for college football. And this old guy, he's got to be 50s, maybe 60s. He somehow just wedged himself right in the middle of our conversation and just started doing complete old guy speak. Like NIL is just kind of like, it's like, well, you know, what's going to happen to the offensive lineman when the quarterback's making all the money? Because that offensive lineman is just going to step aside because that guy's getting all the money. It's like, have you ever competed in your life? Like, have you ever played a sport?
have you been on a real team before?
Anybody who's ever played a sport before would never, ever, just for the sake of competitiveness, let somebody just waltz by them and beat them.
Right.
It's
yeah.
not even, that's like not even realistic. It's like, so when I played an indoor team a while back, and they had like, it was when we first made the team and stuff, they had like a meeting and we were going over stuff, and coach is like, hey, you know, we're a team now, you know, and everybody is here for a reason and stuff. And like, we're going to leave personal stuff at the door. So they started talking about like, you know, because there's people who maybe who had a thing with the same woman or something like that. Like, we're going to leave all the door. And I naturally tune it out or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Looking back in hindsight, they were talking to me because there was another guy on the team who we both kind of had a thing with the same girl, and it was 100% directed to me, but it never even crossed my mind. It never even occurred to me that like, oh, I would like interfere with the game and the team.
Right.
For
I'm not
something
passing to
personal.
that guy.
Yeah, that
you
like
know,
that's it,
or-
it's so absurd. It's just funny to look back on because the lack of self-awareness for myself to not even understand that like what they should have just said, "Hey Tyler," I didn't know, but because that's anybody who's competed knows that it doesn't matter what if somebody else is making more money or less money. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Like when you are on the field or on the
Right.
court, you are a team, and that is a sacred bond.
Yeah. I think I've told this story before, but I had a not similar, I guess, in that sense that I was trying to bang the same girl as somebody else on the team. But we had a player.
Yeah, guys, this happens a lot more often in men's sports than you would imagine.
I've luckily never been in that sort of love triangle, but we had a kid in high school.
I like that. It was a love triangle. Now that I think about it.
We had a kid in high school in soccer, and the team that I played on, we were very bad. A school that is not known for its soccer or really its sports,
or education,
or education.
At that matter,
really.
for that matter.
But we did have a run, I guess, in basketball during like the late '90s, and then,
Okay.
so there was that. But anyways, this kid though was a very good soccer player, just a very talented individual, and instead of going out of his way to maybe like help some of these kids that haven't played competitive soccer at all up until this point, he would always just berate people and like, you know, throw his hands up if it was a bad pass and just like give up on the play and yelling at refs for bad calls and stuff like that. Just the classic.
Awful teammate.
Yeah. And we had
and you get a lot of, it's weird in American soccer, you get a lot of this like this, I don't want to call it rich. This like rich pretension. Like a bunch of rich white kids have when they play soccer. Like you do
he wasn't
wanna-
rich. He wasn't a rich white kid. He
Well-
was a not so well off Hispanic kid.
Gotcha. Well, in my experience of competing with a lot of rich white kids
In the Northwest, right?
in the Northwest,
Yeah.
they do a lot. A lot
Yeah.
of people have that attitude. Just throw your hands up, get mad at everybody else. It's like,
Right.
why don't you calm down? Let's work together. Let's figure this out together.
Yeah. But even though that kid was just the worst, like I didn't talk to him outside of having to play soccer with him.
Mhm.
I did not interact with him at all outside of soccer. But even though I hated him with a passion and would throw hands at him like at the drop of a glove, if we're on the soccer field or at practice or any of that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I feel towards him.
There's a bond.
Yeah, I'm still going to try and feed him the ball. I'm still going to like try and make saves the best I can because I don't want to lose. It doesn't matter. And I know he's a good player. So like I'm going to get him the ball and hope he can do something at the individual level to do something. But I'm not going to just be like, nah, fuck that guy. I'm going to throw it to the kid that hasn't played competitive, like this is his first year on varsity or something like that. That's not what you do when you're a competitive person or when you're playing a competitive sport. That's just not what you do.
So, needless to say, if you're an old person who is making that sort of argument for NIL that
Just
players are going to sabotage their own team because they make less money, just
just stop.
get it out of your head.
Just stop and also just embrace death's doorstep, please. Just
That's early.
Allow.
I said 50s, man. That's,
you said old.
that is. I mean, that's kind of old, isn't
Exactly.
it? We're almost 50.
No, we're not
We're
almost
closer
50.
to 50 than we are 10.
Okay, but I don't want to be 10. I'll tell you
That's
that. I don't
true.
want to be 50 either. But
Is there like we need to find like the Fountain of Youth or find Neverland where we can just kind of
Right.
like there needs to be like a Neverland for young adults. Like it's we've already grown up, but we just kind of stay here forever. We just kind of float at this like mid 20s to 30s plane for the rest of our lives, and it'll be good.
it's like that song where the lyrics like, I'm just a late bloomer. I didn't peak in high school. I'm still out here getting cuter. That's me.
What is that from?
I don't remember.
I don't
the
want to
song.
know actually. Now that we think about that, that's awful.
You don't like that? That's pretty good.
It's kind of stupid. I mean,
I
it
don't
sounds like somebody compensating for their lack of success in high school, and it's still bothering them.
I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of blow up after high school.
Were you a late bloomer, Vince?
No, I was hot in high school too. I was just
Always that-
weird. I was just weird though. So
So socially you were a late bloomer.
Right. Yeah. And
You can't get it all. You can't be good looking and have good social skills. You can't bloom at the early and perfect time.
Yeah, but now I am like.
But now you've hit the.
Now I've hit.
You've hit the.
I've peaked now.
So that's why you don't ever want to get older. You just
That's
wanna
not true. I
Now-
definitely peaked in college, just because like that's when I had like a hot girlfriend.
No disrespect to any other girlfriends you've had.
Maybe a little. Maybe just a little disrespect.
Maybe some intentional disrespect towards. Get a mustache going for you.
I know.
I got one. I think it
Just had to
might
one
be
up me.
Mine's a little bit better, I'd say.
Oh,
A
it
little bit
definitely
longer.
is.
It'll come off here soon though. Don't worry. It's just I shaved it as a joke, and then it kind of just stuck, and I've been too lazy to go shave it. So
I gotta trim up the neck beard and stuff.
no,
though.
you got to keep it.
Well, I want to get the neck beard gone though,
Why?
because I'm not trying to look like total worthless nerd. You know, like the gross, smelly kind.
Is that what you're calling me when I grow out my neck beard?
But yours is like I'm talking like because mine goes like all the way down to here.
Yeah, yours goes down. Mine
Yeah.
is more up.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
We're not going to get in this podcast about discussing our facial hairs. Would you like an NA beer?
No. Why would you say that?
It's something to offer because Tim's not here, so we don't have.
Does
any
this say
real beer.
Coors?
It's Coors Edge. It's probably the best non-alcoholic beer. Try it.
Coors, I am disappointed in you.
It tastes just like Banquet, except for very low calories, very low carbs.
This is
Very low alcohol.
This is very not in tune with the times. Like we are just completely blinding ourselves to the outside world by doing this.
What do you mean?
I don't know, the whole pandemic, maybe. Me putting my mouth on where your mouth has been.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow, that's right. You're vaccinated, or with placebo anyway. That's close enough.
Tastes pretty good. Actually.
I know.
That kind of tastes pretty good.
And it sucks. I was normally gonna make the joke about the alcohol kill the germs.
It can't even do that.
Don't worry though. This is my last day of fasting the alcohol. So by the time everybody listens to this, who's not listening live,
You'll be
I will
hammered.
I will have escaped the clutches of the tyrannical sobriety, and I will be on a
different plane of existence.
euphoric plane of happiness. I'll be on like a 2-day bender by the time you guys listen to this on the podcast level. I'll be in just peaceful bliss of happiness and
Peaceful
alcohol.
bliss. He means you'll be passed out.
I'll
like,
be naked somewhere halfway around the state.
just soaking in your own vomit and piss, and it will be blissful.
And it'll be beautiful. That is it. It's a
now
real,
I am pure. That's what you'll say. when you wake up.
My body's been cleansed.
When you wake up with this most awful hangover. ever.
That's a real thing though. Like people who are like severe addicts, like that's how they die. Is they get clean and sober, and then when they relapse, they go so hard that they legitimately OD. It's happened to alcohol too. You remember who's the actor from Gladiator? Not Russell Crowe. He's the slave owner who's like, your bitch of a mother brought you screaming into this world, and I'm gonna see you out or whatever.
You know I'm not good with actors, but
I know.
yeah.
You know who I'm
Okay.
talking about,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
okay.
So that guy, he actually died from that movie because he had been like clean and sober for X amount of years, relapsed, and did like 25 shots.
Oh,
And then he died of alcohol
like in an
poisoning.
hour, I'm assuming.
I don't know. I don't know all the details, but I just know that sometimes
Well, didn't
people go back when they get back on the wagon. They get back when it's moving a little bit too fast.
does that because Eddie Van Halen didn't he die from alcohol consumption or like he like choked on his own?
I don't know about Van. I know John Bonham did.
Yeah, okay,
drummer
maybe that's
for-
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, for Zeppelin. Yeah, he.
But he didn't. He wasn't like got clean and then relapsed.
No,
right?
he just got
he
so
just
drunk
kept
that he
going.
vomited
Okay.
and then drowned on his phone. It's an awful way to die. At least, I doubt he.
At least you were
remembered.
passed out. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know about it, so that's a plus. I think I'd rather know if I'm dying.
So, and you're very like superstitious about your mortality too. So
Yeah.
talking about
But
you've been clean now for a while. So are you now are you a little
no,
in
I'm
your
still
own head?
terrified of.
Are you in your own head that you're going to relapse and actually kill yourself
No,
through alcohol
no,
poisoning?
Because I'm not like a real addict.
Tyler.
I just have a few addictive tendencies. That's all. There's a difference.
That's what an addict says, Tyler.
I got it under control. Though. I got it under control. Tim hopped on the chat and said Vince concerned about sharing a beer, but you guys tongue kiss every podcast after every podcast. Real mature, Tim. Why don't you grow up and get here like an adult?
And why would you like just share that with the world? Okay, that was like something
personal.
special between me and Tyler and you
Hold
because
on,
we
hold
let
on.
you watch.
Hold on. So does Tim not kiss his wife then during the pandemic?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, come on, Tim.
Checkmate, atheists. But anyway, I think I'd rather know when I die. I think I'd like
You'd
to know.
like to know?
Yeah, because I think.
But what if you find out it's like a violent, painful death? Will you go out of your way to like kill yourself then?
What do you mean?
Like you find out that it's like you're in a
Like before it happens?
So you want to know how you die, right?
I don't want to know how I just want to know when I'm dying. I just want to
when
know
you
that
die?
I'm dying.
Oh,
Because I'm very scared of not knowing. Like that's my biggest fear is not knowing. And like, if I just die in my sleep, how will I ever know?
well, because you'll be in heaven.
Yeah, but
or
that's-
hell.
Yeah, but that if there is an afterlife, it's my soul that it goes on. My human brain is not going to be the same as in heaven. Like I could have no recollection. Like I won't know anything.
I feel like you'll have all the recollection. I feel like if there is an afterlife, humans have like kind of said that like the afterlife seems to be a transcendent kind of dimension where you gain all understanding. Like you finally figure out what life means, and I think you would be like, oh, I died. And
Okay, I like that. I
either
that.
didn't live up to my potential or I did live up to my potential. Or,
Okay. I think I can accept that.
Okay.
I don't know. I still kind of would like to know though. Like in the moment, like
This is it.
yeah, I don't want to just be like blindsided while I'm driving and then wake up in the afterlife and be like, I could. I mean, because if I know, like maybe I can like say a prayer or send out a text or something. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't know if that's logical or makes sense, but
Have you watched the Netflix show Ozark?
a little bit.
Have you like seen the first episode?
I've seen the first episode and I've seen the
Okay.
last episode.
Because that was kind of a spoiler alert if you haven't watched the first season of Ozark.
Which came out like
Yeah,
4 or
so
5
long
years ago.
Great show, by the way. Jason Bateman is phenomenal. Anyway,
It's his version of Breaking Bad, pretty much.
kind of, yeah. But that whole scene where like the
The old-
cartel guy was gonna like had already killed like all those people and then was getting to Jason Bateman's character, and Jason Bateman's like, please just let me text my family, all this
Yep.
stuff. But then he's like, just grabs his phone and kind of tosses it aside. How would that feel on you? Like, because you'd still know, but then you're like,
Yeah, I'd still rather
stripped-
know. Okay, at
you
least
would
I know.
stripped of okay.
At least I know.
Yeah.
And I had a chance, you know. I just don't want to be blindsided by death. That's all. I don't want the Grim Reaper to take me out in my sleep.
Interesting.
I mean, that would be peaceful, but at the same time, it's just like, well, at least give me a heads up, you know?
Especially if there is no afterlife.
Yeah, because
Like,
then it's
you
like,
just-
then
you
there's
just-
nothing. It's just blackness.
But that's still so. That's another interesting thing. When we like say that when you die, it's just like there's nothing. That assumes that you still like do have like some sort of supernatural
Something
like
of you still
like
exists.
a spirit. Yeah, there's still something there that can experience nothing. So like, get with it, atheist.
Yeah,
like,
'cause if
pick
you-
one.
Yeah, because if you don't believe in anything, then you can't experience nothingness.
Yeah, that would mean like that
Ceasing-
you aren't actually experiencing life either.
Yeah,
Like,
ceasing to exist is like, we're getting too deep, man.
this got into a deep podcast.
Man, we did not take enough drugs to get into this conversation. It's crazy though. So I'm reading it's like a fiction story. It's not quite a short story. It's still like 60 pages long, but it's not like a full book. But it discusses AI and simulation theory, and it's just like proving my point even more.
It's
Like with all
it's
this
fictional.
logic.
It's
Yeah, but he
fiction.
makes the fiction makes some pretty good arguments about like a super AI computer like creating this, because if we exist, if our thought patterns from life exist in this simulation, then aren't we just as real in the simulation as we are in real life? It's too early to be talking about any of this. Either way, Grim Reaper, if you're listening or watching, just give me a heads up when it's gone, okay?
He's always listening and watching.
The USA is in their middle of their World Cup window with a secure secure win against El Salvador 1-0 in Columbus. Goal by Antonee Robinson. Weston McKennie is still the best soccer player to ever grace the American uniform. Pulisic had a terrible game.
You hate to see that.
It's starting to become a pattern. Also, did you see Matt Turner signed with Arsenal? Or is in the process of signing with Arsenal?
Who's that?
Matt Turner, our keeper.
Oh,
the guy who had
God.
the PK
Yes.
save against
Yes.
Mexico. Yeah.
Let's go! I mean, I feel bad that he has to be on Arsenal because they're kind of shit
Well,
right now.
I'm just concerned that he's like not going to play. That's the big concern because that's what happened to Zach Steffen. He went to Man City, which is
But
huge.
get leased out or something too.
But he got even Steffen got loaned out for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But then now he's just sitting on the bench. We don't need our two best keepers both right in the bench. I don't think so. Hopefully he starts. Hopefully, because I guess Arsenal just signed to the biggest up and coming English keeper as well. So hopefully Turner just goes in there, competes, balls out, and becomes the starter for a Premier League club. That'd be great.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that would be really cool to see him starting for, my favorite Premier League team too.
Also, I'm probably gonna watch. We're already seeing the effects of the World Cup being played in Qatar, because normally World Cup qualifying is over with by now. We already know who's in and everything like that. But since it's pushed back, now we got qualifying right in the middle of playoff season, NFL playoffs. So now, I mean, kickoff between USA and Canada on Sunday is legitimately the exact same time as the AFC Championship game. Fortunately for me,
you don't care.
Football and I still aren't on the best of terms right now, so I will probably be watching the United States play soccer. I mean, I know we talked about last week my pain and agony was all fresh. It was right after the game. It's lingered a lot longer than I thought it would. I didn't watch an NFC Championship game. Didn't find out about any of it until Tim texted us. And then the very next day, when the Chiefs were playing the Bills, my phone was getting blown up. I was like, "This is the greatest game of all time." Yada yada. My dad texted me like, He's like, "This game is like honestly the best game of football I've ever seen." And I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't know. I'm not watching." He's like, and then I kept getting all these texts about how great of a game. I was like, "Fine, I'll tune in." I turned it on. I was like, kind of relapsed into football as we spoke about. And it was overtime. Patrick Mahomes marched down the field, scored a touchdown like the Bills had never fielded a professional defense before in their life. And I'm like, oh, now I remember why I hate football.
Yeah.
And turn it off.
And I mean, the NFL overtime rules are so stupid. It's the worst.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think we would fight about this, but
the first person to just score just wins the game.
Let me find. I need to put my football hat on.
Okay, go put your football hat on.
Pretend it's my football hat.
Okay.
So, it's first team to score a touchdown. If you score a field goal, the other team still has a chance. Yeah, football is a team sport. Play defense. If you don't want to lose on the opening drive, make a stop. Why is that so complicated? Why is that such an issue?
Because again, we have such a high scoring game now. Like offenses are just like
Aaron Rodgers scored 10 points in the divisional round. He's the greatest quarterback in the league.
Great. But I'm just saying is that on average, like the teams are scoring more points than ever in the history of the game. And we still won't, like both teams deserve a chance to touch the ball, to get their hand on the ball and drive down the field. It shouldn't be left up to a coin toss to whoever gets to actually score.
You deserve that. You deserve to touch the ball if you play defense.
You deserve to touch the ball if you make it to overtime. Both teams couldn't play defense or couldn't play offense. So why is it all of a sudden now it's to a coin toss?
Well, what do you mean now? It's always been to a coin toss. I don't.
That's not true. Like again, that's the problem. I'm not saying it's never been good. It's never been good.
So what would you suggest then?
Again, if team.
So each team just gets at least one possession.
Yeah, it's like PK. Like PK.
Okay.
You go down the field, you score, touchdown. Next team gets to get the ball.
And what if they fail?
A kickoff.
What
if they fail? Then it's over. Because the other team played defense.
So but what happens? What happens if the first team drives down, scores, the second team drives down, scores, and then the first team drives down and scores again?
Then it would be over. I would say that would.
Okay, but then that's not fair. Why does that other team get two possessions and the other one only gets one?
just like you said, play defense, right? Like,
Okay, but then that should apply for the first time too. Then it should
I'm just
apply the
saying,
second
like
time.
they're like obviously there's going to be some luck involved, right? There's not going to be. I mean, you could just keep playing until it. I think that's not good for players though. So like we got to find a compromise, is what I'm saying. Because right now I don't think that's good.
I do think anybody who says that we should do the college playoffs, I think
No,
they
no.
should be slapped in the face.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I do like the college one. I don't know, like having just putting the ball in the 25.
College is fun for college. For the
Yeah.
NFL, I don't think they should ever implement
No.
anything close.
Yeah, still like it's scored kickoff, and then go again. But I just think that both teams should be able to get their hand on the ball at least once. It shouldn't just be over after one score. I think that's
one
just
touchdown, because it's not over after one field goal.
fair enough. But it shouldn't be over after the one touchdown. Both teams should get an opportunity to play. Like,
Would you
to
say
play
this if Josh
offense.
Allen was the one who won and the Chiefs lost?
Yeah, I would still say I think it would just be better for the sport if both teams were allowed to.
Do you know what
play the game.
Do you know what's so funny about this is that the Chiefs lost a couple years ago in the playoffs the same way, and they implemented a rule change to the league, and the Bills voted no for it.
Of course, or even
Everything comes around.
or here's another option. I guess we're doing a quick sports improvement here.
Overtime improvement.
Yeah, there you go.
GTOT improvement.
Even like maybe
GTOT improv.
after the first, first team scores a touchdown, the other team gets an opportunity to try and score a touchdown. They score a touchdown. After that, you have to go for 2 points, something like that.
I like it as is, and if you want to take out the entire defense part of the first possession, I guess starting the team at a 50-yard line would just be like college, but
Yeah,
starting
don't do that. I
closer.
still think a kickoff is still cool because I mean, special teams, like we've said that how many times, like special teams like can win games. Like special teams wins games. Like whoever special teams performs better on average, you're going to win the game.
Okay, I think they should leave playoffs as is in the regular season. I think in the playoffs, though, maybe let each team have one possession, and then there it's from
Yeah.
what you're
And
saying. Then it's willy-nilly.
I'd be happy with that too, even because the regular season.
Because if you
is
get
kinda-
scored on two possessions in a row, then like you said, that's on you. It's not just
Yeah.
one mishap
Right.
on the first drive. Yeah, I like it as is, but if we were gonna do it, then yeah, just give the other team a chance. I guess at least have it like a field goal. If they score a touchdown, they still get a chance.
Mhm.
I guess you've slightly convinced me there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, especially when you have like such great talent in the playoffs, right? Like we see some of the best players in the NFL
But they
facing
say,
off
they
against
say
each other.
defenses win championships,
Oh,
so
for
maybe
sure.
make a stop and play out in
And
overtime.
I get that, but to like completely remove one team's offense from even getting to get onto the field in overtime, potentially, just because like it was just one player made a mistake. Like it happens, but I think that the other team should get a chance to recoup because it is a team game. When one player fails, the other, like when one facet of the game has failed you, the other facet tries to compensate.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
I will say though that I do have zero sympathy for the Bills though, because at the end of that game, Mahomes with 13 seconds left, he should not have been able to get into position anyway.
Yeah.
So their defense failed on multiple standpoints.
Yeah.
But that's typical of Sean McDermott, I think.
Right.
He's just the most
Poor Bills fans, man.
bald guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. These poor guys. The Bills fans they deserve some sort of respite, I think, from the constant just.
Well, they did lose their offensive coordinator.
Yes, I know.
So it's just raining down on Bills
Yeah.
fans now, because once you've lost your offensive coordinator, I might make a bold prediction here. Bills are going to be about a sub 500, not sub. They'll be about a 500 team next year. I think Sean McDermott's he has fraudulent tendencies, and I think we're going to see that without Brian Dable leading the offense. Maybe Josh Allen's good enough to compensate for all that. I don't know, though. That's the thing about Joe Burrow, though. Joe Burrow, I think, he's the kind of quarterback that elevates his whole team. That Bengals team should not be in the championship right now.
He got sacked 9 times, dude.
He didn't do anything in that game. He did,
Right,
But
because he couldn't.
he did make the plays when when they had 15 seconds left. He made that 20-yard out route.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for him, man. that would just be awful to be just the talent that you are, and then have a
Granted,
paper mache offensive line.
Granted, the Titans' defensive front is
solid,
very good.
but
we're very good.
It's also,
but still 9 times. That's like historically bad.
that's so bad,
And
and
they
to
still
win,
won.
and to win.
Just that just
That's
shows
even
you
more historically
how
bad
how bad Todd Downing and Ryan Tannehill are. Let's not. I'm starting to get depressed.
Yeah, we better not talk about
let's
that
move
game.
the conversation away from that. I don't think there's anything else I can say about that. So I'll probably watch the championship games this weekend. I think I'm still hesitant. I don't have that love and that like excitement to watch it like I normally do. I'm pretty excited for the Rams game. I'll give Tim that.
Rams Niners. I mean, that's a
Unfortunately for Tim though, the Rams literally with Sean McVay cannot beat the 49ers.
you think so?
They're like 0-4, 0-5 the last 4 or 5
And
games.
it's a different game. It's an entirely different game.
I don't know, man.
That's superstition talking again. Each game is different. Like we always talk about these,
I hope
These
the Rams.
stats.
I hope the Rams win.
I do
I'm
too.
kind of pulling for the Rams.
Yeah, I'd love. To
Oh
see the
wait,
Rams win.
we got breaking news
Breaking news
from Tim on
Oh.
the YouTube chat.
Tim.
Tom Brady has officially retired.
He did.
Holy cow!
This is huge.
I am gonna fact check this because I'm not just gonna take Tim's word at it. No offense, Tim, but we'll get to the bottom of this real quick. There it is, per Adam Schefter and / per Tim Vogler.
yeah. Tim
Tom
Vogler-
Brady is retiring from football after Schefter. He added in 22 extraordinary seasons.
Of course.
Can we be a little unbiased, please? You're a reporting journalist. We don't need your fucking opinion, Adam Schefter. Just tell me that he's retiring after 22 seasons. I will decide if those 22 seasons are extraordinary, not you. Wow, should we talk about Tom legacies real quick?
I mean, he definitely. Yeah. Let's talk about it because I mean, he has left a huge mark on the game. I mean, he will be talked about in NFL history forever.
I think now that he's retired, I flipped 180. I think Tom Brady's amazing. I love him.
Because now he can't win
Now
any more
he can't-
Super Bowls.
He can't hurt me anymore.
Yeah, he can't hurt me. Finally, we can let all the hate go.
Tom Brady's career is
What a weight to have lifted off
Yeah.
my shoulders. I can finally be like, yeah, Tom Brady, he was a great quarterback.
I've
Wow.
said it the whole time.
Yeah, I've said that. That's what I'm saying.
He was, and that's so hard. We've talked about this too. It gets back in the debate of what does the greatest of all time mean. I think he's the luckiest of all time. I think that's for sure.
He's had some of the best teams surrounding him his entire career.
And the best coach.
Best coaches.
Coach.
Coach, yeah.
I'm not going to give Matt Patricia or
Not
Bill
yet.
O'Brien or Josh McDaniels. I'm not going to give them any credit.
Well, I was saying like Tampa Bay's.
Oh, yeah. Bruce Arians great.
Bruce Arians.
Before we get Tom Brady, Byron Leftwich got hired on as Jacksonville.
That's
head
right,
coach,
yeah, I
where
saw
he
that.
played as a player. But also, I'm a big Byron Leftwich fan now. You know, he's going to a divisional opponent. He walked into that building, interviewed, and they're like, "We want you." And he says, "You get that dipshit Trent Baalke or whatever his name is, that GM. You get his ass out
This
of this
is
building."
quote, by the way.
In
This is
quotations, he said, "Get his ass out of this building if you want me." And they did it.
They
They
finally did it.
fired him,
Holy cow.
and they brought in the guy that he wanted.
Yeah.
That's a big D move.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we call in the business a big D move. To walk in there and say, I will. You can hire me as long as you're gone.
Yeah.
And then the guy
So
above
wait,
him
did
going, okay, yes, sir.
Do you think that? Because I feel like during the interview process or something, like they have both, like the team owners there, like they have all the soups there. Right?
Yeah, because obviously he's
Managers
going to
there.
go with the GM, and then he's
Right.
going to talk with the owner as well. They're probably going to have a group interview. I know the NFL coaching
So do you think-
process is very rigorous.
So do you think though that like they're all in the room together, right? Like I'm painting a picture for you. So they're all in the room. They're talking with like the GM says like, hey, I'm glad you could make it to the interview and stuff. Let's get going. He's like, awesome. First thing I want to talk about though is that if you guys want me, he's got to go. And all the like soups are looking together.
It
The
gets
manager's
super
like,
awkward.
I brought you here, and they're all looking. You can leave.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to go.
I think you heard the man. He said,
Yeah, you can walk it.
My other, it's that either that happened or he did the interview with the GM and he's sitting here. The GM's asking questions and he's like, "What kind of question is that? Like you were an idiot. And then they get in the room together. So there's the owner, the GM, and the coach, and they're talking about stuff. And then the GM leaves, and he's with the owner, and he's like, all right, before we go any further, because I'm on the verge of walking out right now. You make sure that asshole does not walk back through that door ever again, and we can talk about hiring me. But until he's gone.
He asked me what my favorite color was.
Yeah.
Get him out.
And you want that man in control of the roster?
yeah.
So
That's the only explanation I can come up with why Jacksonville's been so bad, is that like the GM is like asking silly questions like that. You have a favorite
But
color?
it's only like he got hired along with Urban Meyer, so.
What's your favorite kind of sexual assault?
That's his interview process. All right, so let me paint a scenario for you. Let's pretend your offensive coordinator is beating the shit out of his wife, and you get text messages about it. Do you A, destroy your phone, B, do something about it, or 3, ignore it until it all blows up in your face?
It's like I would do something about it.
Did you B?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Well, I don't want to say the interview's over, but I guess I got to finish interviewing for happenstance. But that's great. Nathaniel Hackett,
yes,
the Packers offense coordinator,
Welcome to the
also
family.
ex offense coordinator for the Jaguars, which this guy had an offense with Blake Bortles and went to the AFC Championship game and almost beat the Patriots if it weren't for Doug Marone's buffoonery.
Hey, I got
Injecting the
a
hope.
little bit of hope.
They can't
going.
see. Do it in that arm.
Oh, sorry.
Do it in that arm. There you go.
Hey, and the thing is too, I've been like a lot of videos have been coming out with him, like at practice talking with his players and stuff. I love this guy. He seems like a real players coach, which is like right up my alley. I love coaches that aren't gonna pull a fucking Vic Fangio and be like, yeah, it was our quarterback's fault. He's a piece of shit and sort of thing. He seems like a coach that will take accountability, and I think will actually like help kind of raise morale of a very kind of defeated Broncos team right now. And so I'm excited. I'm gonna keep it reasonable because it's still the Broncos. It's still, our offense.
What do you mean you're getting Aaron Rodgers? The fact that somebody posted an interview or a press conference from earlier in the year with Aaron Rodgers where he's like, yeah, Nathaniel Hackett's like my favorite person in this organization. He's like, I love that guy. Like he's hilarious. He's hardworking. Like he helps out this team so much. He's my favorite person on staff.
Stop.
A-Rod's coming to town.
I'm gonna double dose.
What if you get Devontae too? It's a package deal.
I mean, yeah, that'd be crazy.
Who'd you get rid of?
Huh?
Who'd you get rid of to bring in Devontae? Because you got Cortland. Judy's a totally different kind of receiver.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy who's kind of good?
Oh, Tim Patrick.
Patrick, yeah.
Yeah. Which he stepped up when Cortland got hurt though.
He did.
But
if it's between him and Devontae,
yeah, it's true.
we're getting we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
The Broncos, what appears to be, they actually have a good coach.
It was a good hire, I think, and
not because he's a good coordinator.
Yeah.
Because from what we can tell from the outside, at least, that he's a leader.
Yep.
He's a player's guy. Like now, like they at least got that part right.
Yeah.
Which is half the battle.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm really excited about it. I'm still gonna keep my expectations very reasonable. Like I said, our offense still is in a kind of a really weird place with our quarterback situation, but
not if you have Aaron Rodgers.
that's assuming a lot.
Drew Lock would be a great backup to Aaron Rodgers.
I think he could learn a lot too, but also, Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem like the kind of quarterback that.
No, the guys who are the best for the reason because they're not concerned about the guy underneath them. Yeah. They're doing what they can to be the best player that they can be.
I don't think that's true with like guys like Drew Brees though. Like I think he was a really good player.
Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, teammate. Tom Brady, they were. I'm sure. I mean, they elevated. I think they taught through example. They led the backups on how to be better workers, better players in general. But I don't think because you can't really instill knowledge into a guy on how to be a good quarterback. I mean, you can maybe help with reading defense and stuff, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It's a big part of it. But also like with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, we always see like them kind of like come undone on the sidelines, right? I mean, you have Tom Brady on multiple occasions, like throwing the tablets and yelling at people. Peyton Manning, he did it too. He's like cussing out his linemen.
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers
Aaron
always
Rodgers.
seems pretty cool.
Well, he also kind of just like doesn't talk. Like, he just kind of gives up, in my mind. Like when you watch him on the sideline, he I don't know.
I think it's a misconception.
Maybe, but
Granted, I'll defend Aaron Rodgers to the death, but
it's because you're an anti-vaxxer too. But but no, I don't know. Drew Brees always like his kind of greatness. I think came from his leadership, because he kept it on. It seemed like all the time. I've never seen Drew like a highlight of Drew Brees coming undone, really unraveling on the sideline, or even just kind of like Aaron Rodgers, just kind of like all of a sudden just kind of becoming very like internalizing and like stoic and not doing anything. Like he always just seems to be interacting with his players and
yeah. But then you look at things like Aaron Rodgers, like you remember when Mason Crosby a few years back missed like 5 kicks, and then like Aaron Rodgers went and like the cameras were just like zooming in on Mason Crosby like, every time they got. So Aaron Rodgers like went over and stood next to him like in a show of like leadership and support. So I think it's just a different leadership style.
That's true.
But yeah, Tom Brady. But yeah, Tom Brady ended a 22-year career, which 22 years in of itself.
That's the majority of my life. He's been in the NFL.
He's been haunting me my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like without him.
It's
crazy.
True. We literally have not got to watch, like, actually understand the game of football our entire lives without Tom Brady. Come on.
I mean, 2001, I was 9.
And you were understanding the game of football?
I had a decent understanding.
Of maybe that, the team with the higher score wins. Yeah. You're right. Maybe you understood that.
I understood that Steve McNair was awesome.
Why?
Because he threw the ball real good.
Yeah,
he threw it really hard.
That's what I'm saying.
And he ran around.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, we don't, I guess, we don't have a firsthand understanding of football without Tom Brady, which is really bizarre. But I do, one thing because I've hated on Tom Brady a lot over the years, but there is, as I've grown as a fan and my knowledge of the game has, I guess, progressed, I would say one thing that I definitely appreciate about Tom Brady in my older years, not necessarily his, but Tom Brady's football IQ, his understanding of reading defenses and the way he can manipulate defenses. And the guy, he's so smart. His release became so fast, like historically fast. The guy could get his ball out of the hands in less than 2 seconds and accurately and away from wherever the defense was trying to force him to. And that, I think that's what made him so great, was his understanding of defenses and his ability to maneuver the pocket and get rid of the ball quickly.
Yeah, and we've always shit on him for him throwing shorter passes. But I mean, when you are the player that can release the ball so quick, like that's what you're gonna fucking do. Like you're the best.
And he showed that he doesn't have to when he had Randy Moss, bombing.
Yeah, just throw it up to Randy, he'll catch it.
So I guess So I don't necessarily hate Tom Brady. I do hate the people who just say without a doubt greatest of all time, best quarterback to ever play. I don't know. I think if you watch the game, there are other factors that go into that. Maybe he's not the best. Maybe he is. I don't know. But I guess to say flat out with 100% certainty, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think. Because again, with football, there's so many external factors that play into it. There's teams, coaches, luck, injuries, things. There's so many things that go into a season. But him and Bill Belichick's run with the Patriots is historical, and it has honestly ruined fans to a certain extent, because people expect that, like, because people talk about, well, is Peyton Manning that good? He only had 2 Super Bowls. Is Aaron Rodgers that good? Is Drew Brees that good? They only had 1 Super Bowl. And it's like, that's not the measurement of a quarterback. Like, what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did is historic, and they're both incredibly great and deserve to be in a conversation.
Participated in it. Like, they were huge factors for those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the whole story,
but
though.
But
it was that statistic that you mentioned last week about like his number one, like how, like
having
his top rated
defense. So I just hate that that's ruined it to a certain extent, and analysts and fans' minds of when they have discussions about who's great, who's not great, stuff like that. you can't just take that one single statistic into consideration. Winning 2 Super Bowls is an incredible feat.
Winning one, I think, is even.
It's easy to look at Peyton Manning or Tom Brady and be like, oh, well, you won all these, so if you didn't win that many, you're not that good. Well, that's the rarity. Winning a Super Bowl and all the things that have to come together for a team in a one season to make that kind of run is incredible. And I mean, I guess that in itself makes what he and Bill Belichick did even more incredible. But I feel it minimalizes other people's success in our own minds, which it shouldn't.
Right. And I think, too, we're not super popular sports analysts, right? We don't have...
I mean, I should be.
We should be, right? But unfortunately, we're not yet. And these guys that have lots of eyes on them, they're just going to say the thing that gets the most reaction.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They're not going to... It's hard to find real like television journalists and broadcasters like give a genuine sort of like thing.
Yeah.
They do exist, but when you
exist
watch
like us and only have 2 viewers on YouTube.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah,
let's do a top 5 list, shall we? Top 5 quarterbacks in NFL history.
In NFL history,
which we will make the preface of saying we were born in the early 90s. Our comprehension of football didn't start until the early to mid 2000s.
And I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched a lot of old football.
Yeah, I've watched
like
a little
Joe
bit,
Montana. I'm sorry, I didn't watch.
Probably not going to be in our top 5.
Yeah,
honestly.
because I don't know.
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Counting up from number 5 is hard, especially this, guys. I want you to know that this is an impromptu top 5
we did
list.
not.
We did not talk about this at all. We had a plan for a top 5 list, but Tim skimped out on the podcast and didn't show up, so now we have to save that.
How's it always the excuse too that like, oh, I thought you said this time? It's literally in writing.
It's in writing multiple times.
It's in writing. Jeez Louise.
Get your life together, man. Get your texts together.
Maybe you need to take a fast from drinking.
He can't even defend himself. So top 5 quarterbacks of all time. So let me go through my head real quick.
Yeah, do you?
Filibuster, say something while I figure this out in my head.
So, the Mortarion, the Primarch of the Death Guard.
You're distracting
Born
me
on
now.
what am I supposed to say?
Filibuster was something more interesting. That's not going to distract me.
If it's interesting, it's going to distract you, right? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, go. Yeah, good point.
Okay.
Hey Tim, if you're watching on YouTube, have you played Skyrim yet? Please enter into the chat.
Oh, speaking of Skyrim, man, yeah, I'm gonna have to start getting. I might have to build a new character for Skyrim because I've played my, my two-handed Nord character that I've had for however long, and he's kind of like my main guy to just mess around with on. But yeah, with all these new DLCs with the Anniversary Edition, which go get if you've never played Skyrim, it is honestly the best time to do it now. Great game. But this whole new like survival mode stuff and everything like that, I got to make a new character and just try and go with that. So I'm gonna have to start a new one. Don't know what my race or play style will be. It'll probably just evolve into Stealth Archer because that's just what happens when you play Skyrim.
If you could play any character, who would you? Tim says no. Would I ask him?
If he had played Skyrim yet.
Bastard.
I need to buy it for him. Tim, I'm sorry. I just purchased a new computer, so I'm probably not going to be able to buy that for you for a minute. But if I have to, I will do it because you deserve it. And if you don't like it, we will no longer be friends. I just want to give you a heads up on that. So
all right.
If anything, just lie to my face.
Top 5 quarterbacks. Number 5. John Elway.
Wow. Okay.
John Elway, number 5. Actually, I lied. Shit.
I don't know if I can filibuster again, man.
All right, number 5. Steve McNair. Steve McNair. Steve McNair was John Elway, but riddled with injuries and without the same quality of team. Okay, Steve McNair / John Elway for number 5. I can't not have a top. I can't have a top 5 list without Steve McNair. Like he's like literally the reason why I watch football to this day. So he's my top 5. I don't care what anybody says.
Honorable mention to John Elway.
Honorable mention to John Elway. Number 4, Dan Marino.
Okay.
Which we saw the tail end of his career, but I
Right.
have watched some tape on YouTube and looking at statistics, but also I've seen enough from Dan Marino that he was so good. Like the way he threw and what he did in his era. I mean, he was putting up modern day passing numbers in an era that did not do that. That offenses weren't created like that. The run game was still very important back then. So what Dan Marino did was transcendent. So Dan Marino's at number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go Tom Brady. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Number 1, Peyton Manning.
Damn. You made this difficult.
It's tough, man, because there's I mean, like I can't speak on Joe Montana. The only thing I know about Joe Montana is that he has 4 Super Bowls. And as our argument goes, there's a lot of different factors that go into winning Super Bowls that can't be the only thing that I base success and greatness off of, which it is great in itself. So I probably put him at 6 or 7. But I haven't really seen any film of Joe Montana, and I haven't seen anything that he's done that made me go, that guy's incredible. But then again, I don't even think I was a developed sperm yet when he was playing. So I don't know. But Aaron Rodgers, like I said, as the physical, just watching Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. There's something about there's just something physically and talent-wise that he does. It's just incredible to watch.
I get it.
The way Peyton Manning manipulated the line of scrimmage, the way the way that Peyton Manning was his own offensive coordinator for his entire career. I don't know. Peyton, just my personal opinion, he's the best that I've seen play.
Yeah.
So.
Well, damn it. So our lists are probably going to share quite a few of the same.
Since you and I are the same person, I've established.
We have very, very similar tastes in like sports.
I don't know who the fat slob is, but they did a bunch of football and unicorn emojis. So, shout out the fat slob.
Yeah. Okay. God damn.
Sorry, do I need a filibuster?
Yeah, do a little quick filibuster.
My mind's frozen.
Dude, it's hard.
You know,
the guy did it for over 24 hours.
That should be the law. So while you're thinking about this, we talked about last week about filibustering and like how the legality of it. You shouldn't be allowed to filibuster unless you're unprepared. Like you shouldn't be able to have a prepared filibuster. You must improvise your filibuster. If you can do that, then you deserve to distract whoever for however long. I think that should be the new rule, which I don't know how you prove if somebody's prepared or not, but especially if you're good at improvising. I don't know. But that's not who I am as a person, so I don't know if I can filibuster for very long without having some sort of prepper. I have a plethora of notes in my phone. I should just start reading some of them. Even though I'm sure the majority of them don't actually make sense. I write things down, and I go off of that. Ooh, I will play for you guys. I have a great filibuster here. The Red Hot Chili Peppers released a tease of some new music yesterday, and here we go. Put that in my veins.
That
Shove a
sounds so
tube
good.
down my ear and pump all of that music into me. I need that now. They need it. I don't no build up. I already bought tickets to your tour, to your concert. Just give me the CD. Give me the album. Give me the disc.
I gotta learn all your songs before I go.
What?
It's like I gotta learn all your songs before I go.
I mean, I have to listen to the album at least 50 times through from front to back before I see it live. Give it to me. It's like 5 months away. Chili Peppers Denver. If anybody's gonna be going to that, hit me up. I will be there. VIP,
Okay.
VIP front row.
Okay.
Humble brag.
I think I have my top 5. I think.
Let's do it.
Okay. Number 5. I wanted to kind of change it up. It's tough. I might get some backlash from you. We'll see. I'm going to pick Michael Vick at number 5.
I thought about the way Michael Vick has transformed the game in a way that even people who are statistically better.
Yeah.
There's two things I think you have to imagine with Michael Vick. One, what if he didn't go to prison?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of career would he have had? It would have been incredible, which it was already incredible in the first
Yeah.
place. Two, what if he was playing in today's game?
Right. Yeah, there's so many unanswered questions because he was a dumbass and a piece of shit. But
Not just dogs. Get over it.
what if he would have kidnapped Clark?
I would be
and
thankful. I would pay him to do that. I would love to see Clark go toe to toe with another
when
dog.
you
in the
first
ring.
got Clark, before
he's
you
so
understood
cute.
before you
He was
understood
so
how big of a
cute.
piece of shit he was.
He still is cute. But Clark was like, I swear to God, when we bought him. He's a brand new pup. He's like a month old. He was like a little hamster. He was like this big. Like, I was scared to step on him. Aw. Have I ever told you the story about when Clark and I first met?
I don't think so.
I was so cute. I was on house arrest.
How cute.
But we would just stay at home all day together, and he would cuddle with me while I played games and was like a lazy bum who couldn't do anything because I had broken the law. I love Clark now that we talk about it. My dog. All right, sorry.
I'm glad I could rekindle your
thank
love
you.
for Clark.
Anyway, he'll ruin it here in a few minutes.
Yeah,
don't worry.
as soon as we step out of this room. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Michael Vick just because, I mean, like you said so eloquently, he changed the game and he changed how defenses had to be run. Just the way that this mobile quarterback idea was kind of like, nobody thought about that. Or at least it never really worked out in the NFL the way he was able to do it. So just for that, I think, and all the what ifs, like you mentioned, I'm going to put him at number 5 just because like the short career that we saw from him was amazing.
Unlike anything we've seen before or seen since.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen glimpses of like great mobile quarterbacks, but nothing on his level. So,
And also, sorry for explaining your pick for you.
no,
I
love
keep
you.
doing that over
You're-
all
no,
of these
you're-
lists.
You
You're
know,
like, I think this. And I'll go, this is why.
I will always concede football knowledge over to you because you do know more than me.
Well, I meant just like our list of movies. I would explain why.
You also know more about film than I do.
I just know
so.
more about everything in general.
Well, let's not get out of hand here. So, next up at number 4. This is that. Jeez, number 4. Okay.
It's so funny because the top 5 list is so hard. You're like 5. That's a lot of spots I can fill up, and then you get to number 4, and you're like, oh wait, I don't have a lot of room left.
Yeah.
And that goes for anything.
I don't know why. Like Drew Brees keeps coming in.
You're a big stats guy, and he has a lot of very incredible statistics.
He does, yeah.
And he's only 5'10".
Right. Like he was kind of a short king, you know what I mean? And or at least in the quarterback terms. And plus like just his demeanor to like his leadership kind of sets him apart from a lot of quarterbacks too. Like he's kind of, when you talk about quarterback being a leader of a team, he didn't just lead a team, like he led a community. Like the city of New Orleans like loved Drew Brees because of his impact on the city and impact on the community. Just a great person. And then he also was able to like be a great player, and he turned the Saints into like a formidable team. Like they were in the playoffs.
He was also in 2006 after Katrina. He was the Walter Payton Man of the Year
right
winner.
Yeah. And so I think his just like example of leadership and also just a great player, I think puts him at least in my top 5. So number 3, I think our top 3 is the same then, because I have Tom Brady at number 3 for obvious reasons.
Brady, Rodgers, Manning in that order.
And Manning, yeah, just because same thing that you said. Peyton Manning's like knowledge of the offense and understanding how defenses work based on like what they see, and him being able to manipulate that to his advantage is incredible. I don't think we've seen another quarterback be able to do it like he does. We've seen great offensively minded quarterbacks. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is obviously one of them. Tom Brady, obviously. Everybody in our top 5s have been great offensive minded quarterbacks, but he understood it at a level that we haven't. I don't think we see outside of like coaches, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And even he probably could outthink most coaches. He obviously did outthink a lot of defensive coordinators, that's for sure. And so, yeah, he's my number one. Aaron Rodgers, not a big fan of the guy personally, but he's a good quarterback, man. And he's so every time he's
there's something just so fun about watching Aaron Rodgers play football.
It's because I don't know. He's just he is like the clutch king. He's so clutch when moments like matter for
except for when playing the 49ers.
Yeah, except for the 49ers. Yeah. But I mean historically.
But then again,
though,
so are the Rams.
right.
So
historically though, he is like he shows up when it matters, and he can turn a game around in an instant. And so it's honestly really hard. It was hard for me to pick between Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning because of they're both so good at the game. But I just think that Peyton's knowledge of the game gives him an edge and puts him at number one. Brady, I mean, like
we talked about why he was great. And
yeah, we talked about why he was
maybe
great,
his shortcomings. I don't know.
Yeah, so he does deserve to be in, I think, everybody's top 5 greatest of all time because of, granted, championships do matter in talking about your top 5, but they're not the whole story.
I do want to make one quick argument, why does Brady get all the credit in the world for winning that many championships, but when we talk about basketball, Bill Russell doesn't get any for winning 11. I mean, he gets a little bit, but it's like, who's the greatest basketball? Well, it's Jordan. Well, what about Bill Russell? He won 11 championships. That's the equivalent of Tom Brady winning that many championships in football. So, like, where's the separation there? But that's just a quick jab into the argument. I don't know.
Well, then that's like thing too, because basketball wise, the argument is usually between Michael Jordan or LeBron James, and people point at Michael Jordan's championships and LeBron James championships, but sometimes it's hard to pick one because I mean James individually is like one of the greatest players ever. Michael Jordan individually is one of the greatest players ever, but he also was able to use his team to his advantage, unlike I think LeBron could, and that's why I always give the edge to Michael Jordan because he understood the game at the time. The game was different back then, obviously, but he understood the game I think better than LeBron. Well, maybe that's not true either, but
let's just put Jordan didn't ring chase. There you go. How do you like that?
Boom,
got him. All right, well, I think that's it.
We did it without Tim.
Somehow we survived.
That was easy.
It was pretty easy.
No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Tim.
Tim,
unless you don't like Skyrim.
We're gonna be honest, Tim. We thought about doing our top 5 and bottom 5 favorite things and least favorite things about you, but luckily there was enough content that happened in the world that we were able to
maneuver,
not have to build you up and tear you down. So
you're welcome.
You're welcome. Actually, you thank yourself. You're the one who brought up Tom Brady retiring, so we would have no idea.
That's true.
You saved yourself, Tim. All right, everybody. Well, that's it for the Garage Talk podcast. If you're watching live on YouTube, thank you so much. And if you're listening later on your podcast